On Global TV News Prime, President Tinubu reaffirms commitment to building a prosperous Nigeria. In business, Central Bank of Nigeria revises foreign travel allowance disbursement rules, allows 25% cash payouts. On the foreign scene, World Health Organization declares international emergency as Ebola outbreak kills over 80 in DR Congo. And in sports, Confederation of African Football to conduct AFCON 2027 qualifying draw Tuesday. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. And now, the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has reassured Nigerians living in Rwanda that his administration remains committed to creating opportunities, driving reforms, and building a nation where citizens can have their dreams and aspirations met. The president gave the assurance during an engagement with members of the Nigerian community in Kigali, where he reflected on Rwanda's transformation and encouraged Nigerians to remain hopeful about the future of their country. Tinubu noted that Rwanda's ability to overcome its painful past and embrace growth and development serves as an inspiration for African nations striving to build stronger societies. The federal government will soon inaugurate a dedicated radio station to broadcast lessons for adult and non-formal education learners across the country. Director of Literacy and Development at the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, Dr. John Ede, disclosed this in Abuja. Ede, who is also overseeing the commission, said the initiative was approved by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, to expand access to learning in remote communities. Moving on to Kano State, where Governor Abubakar Yusuf has commended the peaceful and unanimous adoption of Abubakar Kabiru Abubakar as the All Progressive Congress APC consensus candidate for the Bichi Federal Constituency ahead of the general elections in 2027. The governor gave the commendation during the official affirmation of the lawmakers by the APC stakeholders drawn from the 11 wards of Bichi local government area. Global Television correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, alongside members of his cabinet and other top government officials, joined hundreds of APC supporters and stakeholders at the gathering held in Bichi local government area. What was expected to be a keenly contested primary election for the Bichi Federal Constituency eventually turned into a unanimous endorsement as party stakeholders and delegates agreed to adopt the incumbent lawmaker Abubakar Kabir Abubakar, popularly known as Abba Bichi, as the sole candidate of the party. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf describes the development as a strong indication of unity, political maturity, and mutual understanding among party members in the constituency. He noted that the collective decision would further strengthen the APC and improve its chances ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Today, you have shown that Bichi is one, Bichi is for APC, Bichi is for honorable member representing all of you in the House of Representatives.
Also present at the event was the special advisor to the president on political matters, Kabiru Masari, who described Abubakar Bichi as a courageous and committed leader who has continues to provide effective representation for the people of Bichi Federal Constituency. Mr. President has sent me here to come and congratulate you and to also tell you that Abubakar Kabir Abubakar Bichi is a courageous lawmaker, and the work you have given him to do, and he is actually delivering it. In fact, his good work does not only stop in Bichi alone, it has translated across the country. So we are happy today and we really congratulate you. In his remarks, Abubakar Bichi thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, and other APC stakeholders for the confidence reposed in him. He pledged to sustain efforts toward initiating and supporting projects that would promote development across his constituency, Kano State, and the country at large.
Will emerge as victorious, as winners in the next coming election 2027. At that regard, I, Abubakar, Kabir Abubakar, duly accept this nomination from our constituent, Bichi Federal Constituency.
As consensus candidacies continues to emerge across several federal constituencies in Kano State, party supporters remain optimistic that the All Progressive Congress will record victory in the 2027 general elections, both in Kano and across the country. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News. Kano
State Governor Hope Uzodinma has described the All Progressive Congress House of Representative primaries in the state as a strong demonstration of the grassroots democracy and party unity across the state. The governor stated this as APC members across the state participated in the direct primary election for House of Representatives candidates. Amarachi Ibe reports.
Governor Hope Uzodinma says the success of the party ahead of the elections depends largely on its ability to conduct peaceful, transparent, and credible primaries. Addressing aspirants and stakeholders, the governor stressed the need for members to place party unity above individual interests. He reminded aspirants that only one candidate will eventually emerge for each elective position and urged all contestants to support whoever emerged victorious after the primaries. According to him, internal harmony remains critical to strengthen the party's chances in the general elections.
So there is need for loyalty to the party pre-primaries, during primaries, post-primaries. That is consistency. And that is what our partisan democracy requires.
Governor Hope Uzodinma also reaffirmed the party's commitment to zoning, describing it as an important democratic principle designed to promote fairness, equity, and inclusive representation across constituencies. He advised aspirants whose ambition may not align with the existing zoning arrangement to respect the decision in overall interest of peace and party cohesion.
If you are a member of the House of Representatives and you know that the zoning is very strong in your constituency, respect yourself. Thank you, people. Help me. I have no personal agenda. My agenda is for Imo State. We don't want this state, after we have done all this fasting and prayers, and God answered and we are gotten to this next stage. We don't want this state to go back to it.
Some aspirants for the State House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and the Senate who attended the meeting pledged loyalty to the party and expressed readiness to support whoever emerged as candidate after the primaries.
On behalf of myself and the teaming APC House of Reps aspirants, we say we pass our implicit vote of confidence on your leadership as the leader of the
and we are here to say that we are committed to our party. On your mandate, we stand.
The stakeholders meeting is part of effort by the leadership of the party to ensure rancor-free primaries and sustain unity ahead of the general elections. From Government House Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Benue State Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia has dedicated proceeds from activities marking his 60th birthday to internally displaced persons in the state, in a move aimed at supporting vulnerable communities affected by insecurity. The governor disclosed this during a Thanksgiving service organized in his honor at the Chapel of Grace, Government House, Makurdi. Correspondent Felicity Indere reports.
A solemn atmosphere of gratitude and reflection filled the Chapel of Grace Government House, Makurdi, as Benue State Governor Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia celebrated his Diamond Jubilee with special Thanksgiving service. The low-key celebration, organized by the Deputy Governor, Sam Odin, Secretary to the State Government, Tabaraki, attracted government officials, clerics, political associates, and well-wishers who gathered to honor the governor at 16. In a sermon, the Administrative Minister, Reverend Father Simeon Iji, alongside the President of St. John's Minor Seminary, Reverend Father Paul Say, described the attainment of 60 years as a major milestone, demanding greater dedication to God and service to humanity.
We are excited about the new hope of our memory and the beginning of our future. We pray that with all your ingenuity, you can take us there. This is our hope. This is our prayer for you.
Deputy Governor of the state, Odi, commended Governor Alia for providing purposeful leadership, assembling what he described as a competent team committed to delivering good governance to the people of Benue.
Sometime in the month of June, we'll be celebrating Alia at 60 and Benue at 50.
Responding, Governor Hyacinth earlier expressed appreciation to the organizers and guests, noting that the celebration was a reminder of the numerous responsibilities placed on him by the people of the state. The governor announced that proceedings in the activities marking his 50th birthday will be donated to internally displaced forces across the state as part of efforts to provide relief and hope to vulnerable citizens.
A number of projects we have accomplished, many more ongoing, and many more that future goals. And I'm very hopeful that with this new age of full formation of the mind and the body, of full introspection, I can do even more. God helping me.
The Thanksgiving service is a gateway to a special reception. Dear friends, associates, and invited guests offered goodwill messages, prayer for continued wisdom, strength, divine guidance for the governor. From the government house in Makurdi, Felicity Indere, reporting to Global Television News.
Watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Parts of the southern region. Morning thunderstorms are also likely over parts of Taraba, southern Kaduna. Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. We have active weather systems developing over the northeast, which are expected to trigger thunderstorms over the region later today. These activities are likely to propagate westward and linger into early hours of Monday over parts of the north-central cities, including most parts of the southern region. Morning thunderstorms are also likely over parts of Taraba, southern Kaduna, and southern Kebbi. As the day progresses, thunderstorms activities are expected to become more widespread and affecting parts of the north-central cities, as well as the southern parts of the country. And that's the weather outlook for Monday. I'm Sefia Sayunusa. Thank you for watching.
Back from that break, if you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of News Prime. And now to business news, where President Bola Tinubu has welcomed aircraft manufacturers Airbus's proposal to establish maintenance and hangar facilities in Nigeria, positioning the country as a regional aviation service hub. Tinubu stated this during a meeting with an Airbus delegation led by head of Regional Business Growth Africa and the Middle East, Thierry Cloutier, on the sidelines of the just concluded Africa CEO Forum in Kigali, Rwanda. The president highlighted Nigeria's urgent need for modern attack helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft to support security operations, logistics, and national development priorities across the country. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has revised its regulations on the Personal Travel Allowance (PTA) and Business Travel Allowance (BTA), permitting 25% of the disbursement to be paid in cash, with the remaining 75% processed electronically. The policy update was announced during the launch of the 4th edition of the Foreign Exchange Manual in Abuja. The regulatory bank further stated that the revision and harmonization of the BTA and PTA disbursements with the updated Bureau de Change guidelines is aimed at reducing operational bottlenecks and improving efficiency for authorized dealers, corporates, and FX holders. The Nigerian Revenue Service (NRS) says there is no blanket demurrage waiver for importers affected by delays linked to the implementation of the national single window at the nation's seaports. And this follows complaints by licensed clearing agents who accused the NRS and the Nigerian Shippers Council of failing to fulfill earlier promises to secure waivers from shipping companies and terminal operators. Special advisor to the NRS chairman, Dare Adekombi, however, explained that affected importers and agents can apply for waivers individually, provided they present sufficient evidence to support their claims. On the foreign scene, the World Health Organization has declared an international public health emergency following a deadly outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo that has killed more than 80 people. Health authorities say the outbreak is spreading rapidly across several areas, with fears of wider regional transmission due to the absence of a vaccine for the strain. And now the report. The World Health Organization (WHO) says it is working closely with authorities in Congo to contain the latest outbreak that is now affecting part of the country's east and neighboring Uganda. The outbreak has already recorded hundreds of suspected cases, prompting the WHO to raise its second highest global alert level amidst concerns over the speed of transmission and the lack of a proven vaccine for the strain involved.
WHO will continue working to support the Democratic Republic of the Congo to bring this Ebola outbreak under control, and will deploy resources and work with and mobilize partners across the region to contain its spread and care for those affected.
The WHO says emergency funds and medical resources have already been deployed to support treatment, surveillance, and containment efforts in affected communities. Health officials warn that the true scale of infection may be far greater than currently reported, especially as patients continue to die outside isolation centers in remote areas.
We have deployed medical supplies and protective equipment for infection prevention and control to Bunia, the Ituri provincial capital. Today, I have released $500,000 from WHO's contingency fund for emergencies to immediately support the response.
Medical teams and humanitarian agencies are now scaling up emergency response operations as authorities battle to prevent further cross-border spread of the virus. The Bodingboyo strain of Ebola, first identified in 2007, has no approved vaccine or specific treatment and can cause severe bleeding, organ failure, and death. Mukhtar Kasim, Global TV News. Taken to the streets of London for rival demonstrations involving pro-Palestinian groups and supporters of far-right activist Tommy Robinson. The protest prompted one of the Metropolitan Police's largest security operations in recent years. The report. Thousands marched through central London as pro-Palestinian demonstrators joined anti-racism groups to counter a separate rally organized by far-right activist Tommy Robinson. Police deployed officers, drones, dogs, and mounted patrols across the capital to prevent clashes between rival protesters.
Well, I think in Britain in particular has a huge historic responsibility to the Palestinian people as the state which authored the Balfour Declaration, as the former colonial power in the period leading up to the Nakba. So it has that debt, if you like, to the Palestinian people. But more than that, it has a responsibility in the here and now to stop doing harm to Palestinians, to stop supplying Israel with the weapons that it uses, to stop providing Israel with diplomatic and political support while it violates international...
Well, I've long been a supporter of the Palestinian cause, especially since the problems with Gaza in the last 2 or 3 years, which we see on our televisions, frequently. And it's just so upsetting to find out that children, and especially, have been slaughtered there.
And we've come here because we want to remind people about the Nakba, 78 years, and what is done in Palestine, and what Israel is still continuing to do in Palestine. And I think over the past 3 years, it has been unbelievable watching it day and night on social media, just how many people have been killed, massacred, children murdered, and we think it's time to stop. And as well as that, we're here because the far right are marching, and we don't want the far right on our street. We are decent people, we want everybody to live together.
Not gonna lie, seeing the local council elections and the results was pretty scary. I think that's why today's even more important, to just come out instead of sitting at home. I think these kinds of days where everyone bands together and there is that positivity and that peace is really important, especially now. Just to try and do something and not see the rise continue to rise.
This is a serious threat because never before have we seen the growth of the far right in such numbers. We don't want to go back to the 1930s, and saying never again means it's important that good-minded people, anti-racists, the left, the socialists get out on the streets and show their opposition. The task today is to outnumber them physically in terms of sheer numbers, because that's how we demoralise them, by confronting them.
Authorities say more than 40 arrests were made during the demonstrations, while several police officers were assaulted during the operation. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer accused organisers of the far-right rally of promoting hatred and division, as security agencies warned about rising threats linked to extremism and political tension in the country. Iran says it will soon reveal its plan to manage traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, including the charging of tolls. United States President Donald Trump has warned Tehran it will have a very bad time if a peace deal is not reached soon, as Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibav declared that the world stands at the cusp of a new order. Israel continues its deadly attack on southern Lebanon and says it has attacked 100 sites in 2 days after negotiators from the two countries agreed to extend a purported ceasefire for an additional 45 days. Now to sports, where the Confederation of African Football, CAF, will on Tuesday conduct the qualifying draw for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, CAF disclosed this in a statement published on its website. The event will mark the start of the road to the continent's flagship football tournament, to be hosted jointly by Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda. The 2027 edition, tagged AFCON Pamoja 2027, will be the first in the competition's history to be co-hosted by 3 countries. Now, the fixtures for the men's and women's competition of this year's President's Federation National Cup has been released following the draw ceremony at the Nigeria Football Federation Secretariat, Abuja. Speaking during the ceremony, the Federation's General Secretary, Dr. Mohammed Sanusi, stated that this year's draw process was consistent with previous editions, while noting that the competition structure will be more straightforward, as no team receives into the next round. Sanusi assured participating teams, officials and football stakeholders that the country's oldest and most prestigious football competition will be maintained on a level playing ground for all teams, emphasizing that all regulations guiding the smooth and transparent organization of the tournament will be strictly upheld. As Nigeria intensifies preparation for the upcoming African Taekwondo Championship in Bamako, Mali, The ongoing Nigeria Taekwondo Federation Open trials in Abeokuta are proving critical in shaping the country's medal ambition, and the competition is not only selecting the nation's best fighter, but also unveiling a new generation of athletes ready for continental stage. Sports correspondent Anita Patrick tells us more.
Taekwondo Federation National Open Trials in Abeokuta have become more than just a selection event. For athletes, coaches, and officials, the competition is serving as a major platform to test readiness, discover fresh talent, and strengthen Nigeria's squad ahead of the African Championship in Bamako. Among the standout performers is rising Taekwondo athlete Solomon Alego, who dominated the men's minus 58 kilogram category after surviving 6 demanding bouts to emerge champion. Alego, who recently featured at the World Taekwondo Championship in Uzbekistan, says the support from the National Sports Commission and the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation has greatly improved his performance and confidence. Sports analysts say the intensity of the trials reflects the growing competitiveness of Taekwondo in Nigeria and the Federation's renewed focus on building a stronger national team capable of competing at continental and global levels. The event is also providing younger athletes with the opportunities to gain valuable exposure and experience under pressure.
We're actually getting new talents here, and one of the things that the Federation is after is to be able to pick people that will represent this country in different international tournaments. And how do we do that? We just want to have a national team that we can use and we can present for other competition that is ahead of us.
It is important we need supporting Nigeria Taekwondo Federation. She is a new president. She tried very hard, and everybody, I hope we working together with supporting federation.
With the African Championship fast approaching, expectations remain. Anita Patrick, Global TV News.
As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. We brought to you that President Bola Tinubu has reassured Nigerians living in Rwanda that his administration remains committed to creating opportunities, driving reforms, and building a nation where citizens can achieve their dreams and aspirations. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has revised its regulations on personal travel allowance and business travel allowance, permitting 25% of disbursements to be paid in cash, with the remaining 75% processed electronically. On the foreign scene, you heard that the World Health Organization has declared an international public health emergency following a deadly Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo that has killed more than 80 people. In sports, the Confederation of African Football will on Tuesday conduct the qualifying draw for the 2027 Africa Cups of Nations. That's it on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Say a very big thank you for watching.